Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you 5 of the most valuable tips for console players who are interested in coming to Valorant. Now, I'm speaking to you as though you don't know a lot about Valorant, just because I think a lot of the players who are being picked up by the Valorant console release are not super familiar with Valorant, and that's very okay. But the first thing we want to understand is that first tip is Valorant is a tactical shooter, right? So what does this mean? It means that aim and HP are very different in this game versus games that you might be used to playing on console like Call of Duty or Halo. So Call of Duty, you can kind of walk around aiming at like chest level or feet level, and you're still going to be able to like shoot them and kill them relatively quickly. There might be some kind of crit shot to the head, but it's much more significant and pronounced in Valorant, okay? So what this means is at this level with this gun and many other weapons, doing a headshot is an instant kill, right? One shot kill if you hit them in the head. However, if you shoot them in the body or the feet, if I shoot them in the body here, which is about this level, it's gonna take 4 shots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4 versus just 1 right here. So you're gonna be able to kill them very much quicker. So if you're aiming for your opponent's head and your enemy is aiming for your body or your feet, which is probably gonna happen when you start playing this game on console, you're gonna have a much bigger advantage over them, right? So I would highly recommend aim training, practicing your aim, and I can make a full video on this for console players if you guys want, on how to get better aim quickly. Hey guys, if you're a duelist player and you want some game-changing, absolutely rank-improving information, check out my Patreon link down in the description below. And I have $5 Valorant courses, including a mentality course that will absolutely change how you perceive things that happen to you in Valorant, and an aim training course, which can help you improve your aim drastically, and I can almost guarantee you'll improve, if not rank up, 1 or multiple times. Enjoy the video. In Valorant, so let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in that, but mainly right now, guys, what I want you to focus on and realize is that you kind of look at where your crosshair is. If you're kind of noticing your crosshair go down and you're like thinking about other things, make sure you're kind of aware of where your crosshair is. Make sure your crosshair is just headshot level. If your crosshair placement's not perfect, that's okay. Just make sure to adjust it up to where you think headshot level is going to be, and you can also practice this in the practice range, right? And also keep in mind that you do less damage to body, the chest and feet. So guys, next tip is going to be pings. So what do I mean by pings? So a lot of other FPS games don't have this, not even just on console, but also on PC games. There's not going to be things like this. So you can actually open the map, which is really great. And what you can do is you can click, or I'm guessing it's going to be one of your buttons on console. You can click, and it's going to kind of, you can even see them here, right? So like, what's going to happen is you might die. So let's say I'm running in here, I'm fighting. Let's say I kill one person, and then I die, and there's a person here, and there's a person here, right? So I die. What I want to do is ping here and here like this, and like I might say, guys, there's 2 people on ping. Watch on pings, right? And this is going to be very useful because if you're the person behind you who just your teammate that just died, and they go like this, it's going to be very helpful for them to see this, right? It helps them kind of know where to aim. It helps them just become more aware. On top of this, you can also ping differently. So if I really wanted to, I could ping like this with the exclamation point.
Careful here.
And it kind of, you know, Ren actually says something, but I can also say like on my way. These are the main ones that I use. I don't really use these other ones. You can also hit here, it says comma for me, but you know, you can click whatever it says, and you can do this if you want to be even more specific.
Someone go B.
So someone go here, caution. Enemies nearby here. So if you want to be more specific and make it a little easier for your teammates to understand what you mean by your pings. But this is really valuable. There's also a button in the keybinds or in your button binds where you can simply click and it will ping wherever you're looking at, which I use this a lot. So like if you see someone who's jumping right here, you'll ping it and you'll say like someone on ping, guys, be careful, or like Sova on ping, be careful. And that's really helpful. This is something you're gonna have to get used to because more than likely you're not really used to playing other games that have these. So you're going to want to use them. And also, in addition to this, when you die, make sure you're trying to use your pings more than you speak. So don't speak too much, because you can imagine if you're trying to focus, right, and you're kind of clearing something, then if someone's just constantly talking in your ear, it's going to be a little frustrating to actually be able to focus and play to the maximum of your potential, right? So just make sure that you're being aware of that and not talking too much when you die. So guys, third tip is be strategic in how you play and make sure that you're being coordinated, okay? So again, stereotypically what comes to my mind for console players is you're just playing Call of Duty and you're running around. This game is not like Call of Duty, okay? You can't just run around and expect to win the game. This game is a strategic shooter, right? So what you want to do is first realize that there's spike sites or bomb sites on each map. Some have 2, some have 3, but you're gonna want to kind of learn the map, and then you're gonna want to know how it feels to push certain areas, and then you're gonna want to know how you should push with your team. So for example, on this A site here, the best thing you could do is have 3 or 4 A main, and then 1 or 2 lurk up tree here. This is called tree, and so what this does is it helps you take control of this area here while your team is pushing out of, this is called main. Main is just the main area that connects to the bomb site. So if you ever hear someone say main or a main, right, that means that the enemies are coming from, you know, or they're just speaking about the main area of where it connects to the bomb site or the spike site, right? So, and the reason you want to split tree here and cat, this is called cat and tree. The reason you want to do that is because if you put all 5 players to come out here and you just run it down like you're playing Call of Duty, the problem is your enemies can be everywhere around you, right? Whereas if you have teammates coming up here, then they at least cannot be on the left if you guys time it correctly, right? You don't have to worry about over here in this room. You just have to kind of briefly clear this corner and check over here. This is also another bonus tip. Clear your corners, guys. I don't know if the games you guys play on console, you have to check your corners a lot, but make sure you're constantly clearing corners. This is something you're probably not going to be doing a lot. So like, make sure you clear here, right? Whenever you're coming up cat, make sure you clear here. Someone might be there. Clearing here, clearing to this corner, and then, you know, just being cautious. Like if you're running out here, clearing this corner. People play in corners all the time in this game, and if you're not clearing them, you're going to get punished. And yeah, it's just not going to be good. So anyways, guys, make sure you're being strategic, right? So understand there's a way in which you want, there's an optimal way in which you want to push certain areas. So let me just give you another example over here on B. And again, this guys will come with experience and time. You can also look up videos, but this is just me giving you the information that you need to kind of understand, right? So in terms of B, it's actually okay to go 5B main. Sometimes you will see people go mid, but it's okay. So this is a circumstance where it's actually okay to go 5 out B main, and the reason this is, again, clear corners, is because you can hit this switch, and it's going to completely cut off this area. And you're gonna usually have these smoked, so it's just this area is just a little easier to kind of flood out from without needing a lot of mid control. It's hard to explain why, but that's just kind of how the setup is on B versus A. And guys, make sure you're being strategic with your team. That ties into this. So you might want to go fast. You might want to go fast A or fast B, and that's okay. But sometimes you might want to go slow. And you know, there's a whole other part of the map I haven't talked about yet, which is mid. You guys might want to just look for some kills mid. Someone might peek here. Someone might peek here, or here, or here. They might be peeking here. They might be peeking here. You might just want to look for a kill, right? You might just want to kind of play slow. That's what that's called. You see at the very top of my screen, you have 1:40 per round to do something. So, you know, you can win the round by killing all the enemies. You can win the round by planting the spike and letting it blow up as an attacker. So, you know, you have time to work with. You don't need to rush things. And you can kind of, you know, it's better to have someone on your team with you, or to be near someone on your team so that you can trade them. Trading them just means if they die, you kill them. They're the person on the enemy team who killed them. Or if you die, that your teammate will kill the person that killed you. So it's an even 1 versus 1 trade, which is very, very good. Generally speaking, it's obviously better to get one and not die, but if you do die, it's better to get traded. So guys, hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. Play with your teammates, understand how you're supposed to push certain areas, understand that you don't need to always go fast or slow. You can kind of change it up, and it's actually better to change it up because it's unexpected from the enemies, and a lot of time your enemies will do predictable things, especially if you're newer to this game in this genre. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next tip. So guys, binds, and what I mean by this is your controls on your controller are really important. So make sure you just kind of open up your settings, even look up a settings guide. I would absolutely do this for you guys. I tried to plug in my controller, but it doesn't connect to my PC. So you guys might have to look up a different guide for this, but look up keybinds for controller and make sure that you understand what all the keybinds do. Make sure you change it to your likings. There's probably optimizations you can do that are just generally good. Like for example, certain like sensitivity or button guides. So I think there's a #1 Reyna channel who's been making videos, and you can look up a keybinds on this guy's channel. Just look up #1 console Reyna player, and there'll be a button guides at the beginning. But that's really useful because certain things like crouching can be, like I have that unbound, for example, just because I don't want to be crouching constantly. And yeah, guys, that's just a short tip. Just public service announcement. Make sure you're aware of your binds and kind of what they do. So guys, fifth and final tip is figure out which roles work best for you, okay? So there are roles in this game, unlike a lot of other shooters as well, right? Usually people are all just kind of running around in Call of Duty, or and if you're on Xbox on Halo, like you can just kind of run around and do whatever. But in this game, there's 4 roles currently. I don't know if they'll ever add another, but it's always been 4 roles. So one is duelist, and I'll just go ahead and break these down, and you can kind of figure out if these roles, which one is for you and which one might not be. So I'm currently on a duelist. I'm on Reyna. Also, there's going to be a button which you can hit to show all your abilities and what they do and how much they cost and what buttons you need to hit to press them or to use them. But I'm a duelist player generally. Duelist is the most aggressive role. It's the one who's going to be wanting to go in first. So you're more than likely going to be dying a lot, but you're also going to be seeing the most action. So as a duelist, you're going to be flashing, running in, clearing everything, running in, looking for the first kill, looking to take the first fight, right? Everyone's behind you. Everyone's relying on you to get that kill and open up the site. However, this can go one of 2 ways. You can get all the kills on site and it can feel really good, or you can die instantly and it can suck. And you hope that your team trades you, and sometimes they will trade you and sometimes they will never trade you. So it can be like a double-edged sword. But generally, if you like to take a lot of fights and you want to focus on your aim, you want to improve your aim, and you want to be the carry of the team in terms of just how many kills you're getting, and this doesn't mean you can't carry other roles. Other roles can actually be more impactful than duelists a lot of the time, especially in higher ranks. This is going to be the role for you. So as the next role is Initiator. Initiator is probably the second most aggressive role and can be played very similarly to Duelist. Initiators are primarily made for flashing your teammates in, or kind of using util to get your teammates in. So, you might flash your duelist in, right? So I'm flashing and then my duelist is running out for me, but I'm not obviously on an initiator character. So initiator characters often have flashes or drones or dogs to kind of get their teams in, right? They're kind of like the supporting duelists, if that makes sense. And that's how you always want to think about it. So they're usually going to be the second or the third in line to go in, behind or with the duelists, to kind of support them. And sometimes it's okay for the initiators to go in first if the duelists are just kind of not really doing their job, because they have the util to do that. So guys, now onto the other 2 roles, which are going to be more kind of like, not passive, but a little more passive and not so much focused on getting kills straight away, is controller. Controllers, what they do is their main job is to throw smokes out, okay? So there are at least 4 or 5 controllers in this game. So the main areas you want to smoke on this area are here and here. So having these smoked is really big. And so a smoke will just block off like where they're at, so they can't just be sitting, they can't just be sitting right here and peeking. They're going to be smoked off. And the smokes are obviously not permanent, but they allow you to go, they allow your duelist to run in. And controllers also have other cool abilities that can be used to, just kind of support your teammates to getting in. So what this would look like on B site really quickly, the most common smokes that you would throw here would be for spawn and for market. So like this, smoke, and then you're out. And the only things you have to worry about are close corners, and then of course you always have to worry about someone running through the smoke and flashing through it. So always be aware of that. But guys, the 4th and final role is called Sentinel. So Sentinels are the most passive by far. They're going to be the ones that lock down certain areas, so they're really strong on defense, and they're also very strong on attack after you get control of the site. But they're by no means going to be the first person going in most circumstances, and you don't want them to be going in first. So Cypher has a camera you can put up here. Killjoy has a turret that's commonly seen put up here. And basically what this does, it just gives them information about when the enemy is pushing. They don't need to be peeking, they can just be hiding back here, and they can be sitting on their util, and they'll know if you're coming before they even see you, before they even see you, yeah, right? And before you even see them. So, and they also have other util to stop or slow you down. So like Cypher has tripwires, which if you run into it reveals you through the walls, and Cypher can shoot you pretty easily there. Killjoy has other abilities like the Alarm Bot, which can make you take more damage temporarily, and Nano Swarms, which will kind of damage you as you walk through them. So be very careful about pushing into certain sites. You'll also begin to understand that certain sites are more commonly played by Sentinels, like B sites pretty much always played by a Killjoy or a Cypher, although they can swap around if they need to, right? So keep that in mind. And if you guys have any questions about this, if you like this or don't like this, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.